Shadowing is when
Mm-hmm.
you listen and repeat simultaneously. You take a recording, you listen to it, and you don't wait for a pause after it. You don't wait for something. You try to speak along with the voice. And if you're learning a foreign language, it seems too fast at first and you can't grasp the sounds, you trip and you stumble. But if you do the same material several times, you get better and better at it. You learn the patterns, and then you're speaking on top of the voice, and you learn to because the voice is coming in a fixed pattern. You can't change that, and you psychologically know that, well, that's correct, and what I'm saying is incorrect, but I can make it more like that. So shadowing is to get the living language into your head, to get the experience speaking it, to get the experience of saying something. But shadowing is inherently fast. Speech is fast, whereas a scriptorium is a writing technique. And so what I always like to do, particularly with languages that were difficult for me, with languages that have a different script, was to slow down the entire process and say, I'm going to copy this text out and not just copy it blindly by looking at it, but I'm going to read it aloud and then try to remember what I said and then try to write it when I said. I'm going to try to get that same echo effect that I have with shadowing, but at a slower thing. And I'm going to be, writing letter by letter, and I'm going to be noticing, and I'm going to be looking at things. So scriptorium to me is a way of, again, particularly with languages that have different scripts, that have a sort of artistic calligraphic aspect to it, of getting that. But in particular, of saying, well, if I take shadowing and I get myself speaking and I get myself going fast, then the counterpart to that is slowing it down and really writing and noticing. There's so many little things that you can only notice when you're going very slow. Oh, wait a minute. I just compared this. Oh, there's silent letters here. I didn't hear those silent letters. Or wait a minute, the ending is here. I can check this. So scriptorium is a place where you slow things down, you write things out very carefully, and you learn to pay attention.
And a thing about scriptorium shadowing, do you recommend, um, I think that one of the things that both of us have is you're the only person that I could empathize with this because people have been asking me how many languages you speak, and I always have trouble answering this question, just like you. And the best answer was like, well, I'm at a point where I count things by language family more than each individual languages, and that's what it was the beginning of the podcast where which was the first video that where Sophie and I we talked about the problem with with the question how many languages you speak, because language learning is not equal.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
It's not equal. Me as a native Portuguese speaker, and you as a American English speaker, we have an easier time comprehending the worldview of the West, while an Arabic speaker would struggle a little bit more, or a Mandarin speaker and whatsoever. So there's more to that than like, and some people like to collect languages like their cards, but and it's but taking from what you said is, how, do you think that well, going to the question, do you think that scriptorium and shadowing are friendly techniques for beginners level 0 in a language that they have no idea about?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I wanted to learn Tamil or Telugu, that's what I would do. No question. I wouldn't think of any other things to do. I don't see why they wouldn't be appropriate for a beginner with some other kind of language here. I don't know why anybody would think, well, this language is different or hard here or something like this. It's not just for, related languages, something like that here. Absolutely. I mean, the way I learned Arabic was with, shadowing and scriptorium. The way I would, try to learn Hindi or anything like that would definitely be along those lines.